Forrest Breyfogle here. This session will describe a Kaizen Blitz approach to improve KPI and process performance metric responses. The described methodology is a process improvement approach that benefits the big picture. I refer to this session as the long version since time is spent during this video explaining the methodology in some detail and telling stories that illustrate application and benefits of the described methodology. A shorter version of this video does not elaborate on the methodology nor include application stories. This video violates a PowerPoint presentation rule that a presenter should not read the text in a slide. I consciously broke this instructional guideline when discussing some slides because this presentation needed to explain concepts very different than those taught in traditional Lean Six Sigma and business schools training in a short amount of time. Listeners need to absorb much in this video. My objective in this session is to provide a video where audio and visual learners could 1. Grasp the powerful presented unique concepts and the system's overall implementation process. 2. Reference this video when applying the video described system in their work environment. Share this video with others, for example, managers and practitioners who desire a structured approach to improve the business as a whole. Everyone should understand that organizations need to improve in order to survive. However, how should an organization undertake this business enhancement effort? Process improvement undertakings often give focus to teaching the tools. In the 80s, this tools training might have been statistical process control or SPC. Later, organizations embrace Six Sigma and Lean concepts for process improvement. Are the benefits of this process improvement training to the big picture financials are more often than not questionable. Organizations have the best intentions when initiating a Lean Six Sigma deployment. However, there are many fundamental problems with traditional implementations. Often, Lean Six Sigma deployments become a training exercise where the whole enterprise does not experience financial gain from the effort. There is something wrong with this picture that needs addressing. In Lean Six Sigma deployments, I have heard many disturbing statements over the years that suggest something needs to be done differently. I will discuss 4 of these statements now. Statement 1. Our organization reported saving $100 million, but nobody can find the money. Statement 2. We have a Lean Six Sigma class next week and everyone needs a project to work on. Do we believe quickly chosen projects will benefit the whole business financials? I don't think so. Number 3. We completed 10 Kaizen events every month this year. When asked what measurement did these events improve, the answer was only anecdotal. There was no metric process output tracking for all the projects. What is the actual benefit from these improvement efforts? I don't know. Number 4. I took my Lean Six Sigma training 5 years ago, and now I want to complete my project so I can receive my Lean Six Sigma Belt certification. Is it too late for me to submit my projects? What is wrong with this picture? Management, not the students, should be pushing for timely completion of all projects so the whole organization benefits. Organizations need to do things differently to timely complete improvement projects so its KPI and big picture financials benefit. This session will solve these issues and more by applying the Integrated Enterprise Excellence or Business Management System methodologies. This session will use the structure of the 9-step Integrated Enterprise Excellence or IEE business management system to describe how to conduct a Kaizen Blitz approach for improving an important KPI or process measurement response that benefits the business as a whole. Step number 1 of this 9-step system is describe the vision and mission, which for an organization, this should have consistency over time. Step number 2 is describe the IEE value chain, including satellite level and 30,000 foot level metrics. An IEE value chain describes what an organization does and how it measures what's done from a high level point of view. Satellite level metrics are financial metrics and 30,000 foot level metrics are operational metrics. Step number 3 is analyze enterprise. In this step, we want to identify potential improvement metric opportunities. Consider the IEE value chain, voice of the customer, competition, economy, and possible internal differences such as metric response to similarities between departments. All these various aspects should be considered within the analyze enterprise phase. Step number 4 is establish SMART, that is specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-based satellite level metric goals. Now with the IEE system, the way we want to track financial metrics is monthly report outs, where we can have these report outs over many years. So what we'd like to do in the satellite goal setting step is to not look at what goal we want to achieve in the next month or quarter, but instead we want to improve the average response for a satellite level metric. For example, we may want to increase EBITDA by a certain percentage at a certain point in time. Now the question is, how do you achieve that? Well, you got to improve your process. So step number 5 is we want to create strategies that will help us determine where we should focus our improvement efforts. Now I was conducting this session a while back in Bolivia at a company to their leadership. And when I got to this point of the roadmap, someone commented saying, Forrest, we just created our strategies and those were aligned to our vision and mission. We did this in an executive retreat. And you want to align it to the financials. After some discussion, they could see the point and benefits of aligning strategies to the financials. Often what organizations have is a system for creating strategies in an executive retreat periodically, maybe yearly. And then these strategies are to be cascaded throughout the organization by means of ocean planning or some other methodologies. Often these strategies are worded like I want to be the best of the best, which is not really a strategy, but we're supposed to then cascade these strategic statements throughout the organization. But how does a line operator relate to some of these high-level strategies? Doesn't work very well. Step number 6 is we want to identify high potential improvement areas and establish related 30,000 foot level goals. Now these goals should be set for management to achieve them, where they're supposed to be working with teams to achieve these goals, and these goals are strategic. So step number 7 is we want to execute improvement projects to improve and identify KPI or metric. An improvement project could follow an IEE DMAIC roadmap, Kaizen event, plan to check act, or another methodology. The technique used to make process improvement is not essential. In an IEE Kaizen Blitz improvement approach, the focus is to enhance as soon as possible and identify 30,000 foot level metric that benefits the enterprise as a whole, where again there's ownership of the metric by a high level manager. Now step 8, I am truly from Missouri, the show me state. So what I would want to see is the 30,000 foot level metric for our project being transitioned by way of staging to an enhanced level of performance. And then step number 9 is maintain the gain for not only that project, but in general for all projects. Notice how also this particular step loops back to step number 3. So this is somewhat of a plan do check act of Deming on the enterprise as a whole. My Implementing Six Sigma book, published in 1999, was arguably the first technical book on Six Sigma. When writing this Implementing Six Sigma book, I wanted to create a detailed Lean Six Sigma define, measure, analyze, improve, control roadmap where tools were placed in the DMAIC roadmap phase, similar to GE's use in the roadmap in the 1990s. Some of the tools that GE included in the measure phase were not measure per se. For example, flowcharting is a tool GE had within the measure phase that did not possess a measure characteristic. Because of this general clumping of many tools in the measure phase, I added a measure drill down to more specific categorical wording of tools. In 2003, the second edition of Implementing Six Sigma structurally integrated lean concepts in the IEE roadmap. Implementing Six Sigma won the ASQ Crosby Medal in 2004. IEE DMAIC details are described in a clickable web page that I will reference during this session. Books referenced in web page drill downs during this session are Integrated Enterprise Excellence Volume 3, Lean Six Sigma Project Execution Guide. In an IEE Kaizen Blitz approach to improve KPIs and performance metrics, focus is given to improving 30,000-foot level reported metrics that will benefit the enterprise's financials, not simply executing all the steps in an IEE roadmap. In an IEE Kaizen Blitz approach for process metric response improvement, the focus is to tracking and improving a process output measured response instead of spending a lot of time creating a polished Lean Six Sigma statement. IEE uses a cost of doing nothing differently, or CODND calculation, instead of a cost of poor quality, or COPQ calculation. The reason for selecting this project value approach is that there is no straightforward methodology to determine COPQ for many situations, such as reducing cost of work in process, or WIP. This problem does not exist within a CODND calculation approach. For this WIP illustration, a CODND financial benefit calculation would be the difference in CODND values before and after the project's completion. CODND has value over COPQ when evaluating a project's benefits, but there are still more project costing problems. In a traditional Lean Six Sigma deployment, the focus is on cost savings. Much debate often occurs on determining the cost savings for a project. There can be much discussion about hard cost savings versus soft savings. An example of hard savings would be someone laid off from the company because of a process improvement effort, resulting in hard cost business savings. In contrast, soft savings from a project would be transferring a process worker to another area because of improved process efficiency. There is no clear resolution for a project's value to this hard cost savings versus soft cost savings debate. Another Lean Six Sigma deployment issue focuses on the total cost savings from all projects to assess the value of a Lean Six Sigma implementation. One organization claimed over $1 billion annual savings at an ASQ presentation when the company's financials worsened over time. Everyone in the company seemed to understand how these financial claims were not valid. Still, leadership goals for year-over-year Lean Six Sigma employment needed to show as being achieved, hence the inflated reported financial benefit. In time, this company's Lean Six Sigma employment was terminated. An additional Lean Six Sigma project costing situation occurred when I coached someone with her DMAIC project in a traditional Lean Six Sigma organization employment. I asked the black belt trainee what she expected to be the value of her project. She told me that her project expectation and value was $3,000 annually. I then commented that this financial estimate is very low for an improvement project. She then stated that the project was worth a lot more. She explained that all specialty chemicals at her facility use her product as a component in the products that the facility sold. She said that her product's capacity was not large enough to fulfill the needs of the products at her facility. The goal of her project was to increase the production volume capacity of her component part. I then explained that her product's lack of production capacity was a bottleneck to the entire facility. Any additional units produced by her product would have enormous benefits to the whole facility's bottom line. She agreed. She then stated that her Lean Six Sigma employment does not credit this type of financial value for a product. It is not unusual that Lean Six Sigma implementation project cost value policies does not lead to the best organizational outcomes. Traditional Lean Six Sigma implementations that focus on cost savings have many more issues beyond those shared here. Because of these many department problems, an IEE Lean Six Sigma implementation focuses on improving KPI and performance metrics that are beneficial to the business as a whole financials. It is essential to highlight that in IEE, tracking these KPI and performance metrics is from a high-level process output point of view, not a table of numbers, bar charts, or red, yellow, green scorecard. In an IEE Kaizen KPI metric improvement blitz, one must describe how the improvement effort fits into the big picture and addresses a business satellite level metric improvement desire. An IEE value chain describes what an organization does and how it measures what's done. Metric reporting is from a process output perspective. An example IEE value chain is shown below. An IEE value chain at the enterprise level has functional drill downs. This IEE value chain function drill down shows two swim lanes. The top swim lane shows selected metrics to report from a quality, cost, and time perspective. This swim lane provides y's in the relationship y equals a function of x for this function. The bottom swim lane shows functions and processes associated with this functional drill down. This swim lane provides x's in the relationship y equals a function of x for this function. If the y value is not satisfactory, we need to do something different to improve the process. In the IEE 9-step system, step 1 is vision and mission, step 2 is the value chain, step 3 is analyze, step 4, 5, 6, and 7 are shown here. This is an example of an organizational enterprise improvement plan, or EIP. An EIP shows project metric enhancement desired in line to business metric benefits. It is essential to describe a project's metric improvement desires with its business benefits to others. for an IEE Kaizen Blitz approach to improve a KPI or process performance metric response, the metric should be shown in the organization's value chain and how its enhancement aligns with business overall improvement objectives. Below is an illustration that shows a project metric to improve in an IEE value chain. Below is an illustration showing how a project's metric enhancement desire aligns with overall business metrics goal in an IEE EIP. A much simplified value chain and EIP should be presented in an IEE improvement project report out when no IEE infrastructure exists in an organization. It is vital to create an overall plan for a metric improvement project where there are considerations of tasks 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3 when building this plan. Shaded boxes have clickable drill downs in the IEE roadmap as provided in this page. I observed that Lean Six Sigma project report outs typically do not provide a graphic showing a process output response improvement over time because of a process improvement effort. In a conversation, someone told me that he had many books on lean techniques and could not see anything about process performance metric tracking over time in these books. These points highlight a problem with traditional Lean and Six Sigma implementations. It is essential to create a baseline for the metric to improve through the execution of a project. If this is not done, how can the benefits of a project with quantification be explained to others? A 30,000 foot level free creation app is available for executing steps 3.2 and 3.3 to create a project metric baseline. The IEE Kaizen Blitz approach for process metric response improvement will be illustrated using call center hold time data. Using the previously described free 30,000 foot level app for analysis of the call center hold time data, the following call center hold time process output response is considered predictable with an estimated median hold time of 78 seconds and 80% of durations ranging between 25 and 243 seconds. I will now describe aspects of this 30,000 foot level report out. A 30,000 foot level report out provides a similar view of a process output response as that of a Windows view of the terrain below from an airplane in flight. Articles and books describe the creation of IEE 30,000 foot level reports. However, I'll pause now to summarize the concepts of 30,000 foot level reporting. I will use the time it takes for someone to commute from home to work by way of car to illustrate many of the concepts in 30,000 foot level reporting. Let's consider that it takes someone 25 to 35 minutes to commute from home to work by way of car. Now this is the normal output noise of this commute from home to work process. It's going to be different some days, but because we have different delays because of traffic signals and so on. Now if it took us 2 hours one day, we can say this was an unusual event, or we say special cause. And we could talk about that point. Maybe we had inclement weather, or we had a major traffic accident along the way. But we cannot talk about all the ups and down variation with the 25-35 minutes. It can lead to much firefighting and many statements that may or may not be true. So let's say this person wanted to reduce the time it takes for them to commute. So they establish a goal. I don't want it to be any longer than 29 minutes. So if it's 30 minutes, we'll say, what happened? We didn't meet our goal. But I just said that's not the right thing to do. But that's exactly what happens with red, yellow, green scorecards. Often goals are set within the normal noise of the process, so it can be triggered from red to green and back, and where nothing has really changed at all. So if we got common cause variability and we don't like what the metric and our predictions are, when we need to do something differently. So let's consider we decided to leave a half an hour early. We changed our process. Now we have less traffic to deal with, and now it only takes us 18 to 22 minutes. So the point is, if you got common cause variability or normal noise in the system and the response is not satisfactory, then you need to do something differently. The 30,000 foot level chart he's shown here consists of three parts. The first part is the assessments of process stability via the individuals chart shown on the left. The second part is the probability plot on the right, which describes a process capability. The third part is a process prediction capability statement at the bottom of the report when a process is considered stable. This bottom of the chart futuristic statement will be a non-conformance rate expectation, or when there's not a specification, a mean, or median response at anticipation with an 80% frequency of current values. That is, we expect 4 out of 5 reported values to be between these two numbers. Often people say that a 30,000 foot level report basically is a statistical process control or SPC control chart. This observation is not true. Yes, the left chart's creation has the same mathematics as an SPC individuals chart. However, the SPC individuals chart application is different. The application of the 30,000 foot level report is different than, as I said, from a traditional control chart. The primary purpose of a traditional process control chart is to determine when timely actions should take place to resolve identified special cause events, not provide a process capability statement. The purpose of a 30,000 foot level report is different from a control chart. A 30,000 foot level report is not trying to timely control anything. A 30,000 foot level report can, similar to an SPC control chart, identify unusual events. However, the primary purpose of a 30,000 foot level report is to provide a process capability or process performance statement in the same overall graphic. That is, when a process response is considered stable, SPC charts do not provide this type of valuable information. Whenever in a 30,000 foot level chart we have stability from the individual's chart, we can say our process is predictable. So we're making a statement at the bottom of the chart that's not only reflective for now, but what we expect in the future unless we do something different. As described in the commute time from home to work by car illustration, one should not react to all the ups and down common cause variation instances in an individual's chart. If a process is considered stable and a prediction statement is undesirable, the organizations need to improve the process associated with this metric. A 30,000 foot level report should not be referenced as a control chart. The objectives of a 30,000 foot level reporting is very different than a control chart. There is a transformation of the wait time data in this illustration to allow for proper analysis. A log normal data transformation is generally appropriate when time durations approach a natural boundary of 0. Since the organizations consider this prediction statement undesirable, there is a need for process response enhancement by way of process improvement efforts. During the coaching session, someone spent a lot of time describing a value stream map of workflow for his project. I asked him how his value stream map provided insight into what to do differently to reduce defective product rate, the objective of his project. He indicated that his value stream map provided no insight to what to do differently in the process. My response was, why then did you take the time and expend the resources for your improvement project to create a value stream map? For metric improvements involving workflow, such as lead time to complete a task, a value stream map and other lean techniques can provide valuable process insight. For metric improvements that involving other responses such as non-conformance rate, lean techniques are often not necessary for determining how to improve a project. It is essential to ensure 30,000 foot level and other metrics reports are accurate. A gauge, repeatability, and reproducibility study is appropriate for some improvement projects. However, a gauge R&R study is not applicable for most improvement efforts. I will now take a detour and expound further on measurements within IEE and the benefits of IEE metric reporting techniques. When applying IEE methodologies, organizations are to view measurements holistically, including the collection and reporting of data. Articles and books describe the problems with commonplace measurement and reporting techniques such as acceptable quality level, or AQL, and reported CP, CPK, PP, and PP process capability indices. These articles and books describe benefits of applying an IEE metric reporting alternative. IEE encourages the replacement of traditional AQL and process capabilities indices reporting methodology with 30,000 foot level reports. Unlike IEE's 30,000 foot level reports, AQL and process capability reports do not structurally encourage process improvement efforts so that process output responses in the future will be better through process improvement enhancements. In the IEE DMAIC roadmap, wisdom of the organization includes flow charting, FMEA cause and effect diagram, and cause and effect matrix. Working with a team, flow charting, and FMEA for process understanding may be beneficial to stimulate thoughts for improvement. However, to improve a project's 30,000 foot level response quickly, team may decide initially to proceed directly to brainstorming for process improvement thoughts. Brainstorming for metric improvement thoughts is very important in an IEE Kaizen Blitz approach to improve an organization's KPI process performance metrics response. There are many types of brainstorming sessions. A brainstorming facilitator should select a brainstorming approach that is most appropriate for the specific situation. For identified theories of improvement from a brainstorming session, there should be, when appropriate, visual and statistical significance testing of these theories in the IEE DMAIC analyze phase. Let's consider a call center hold time situation. Consider that a process improvement team examined the call center process's 30,000 foot level output Y response. One item from a process improvement team's brainstorming session was that the hold time for a call could be longer if the call occurred during lunch. In the Y equals the function of X relationship, this X input consideration will need testing for significance in the analyze phase of the IEE DMAIC roadmap. A significant difference conclusion for this input factor would provide evidence for a direction where a process improvement effort should focus, that is, improving phone coverage during lunch. In the analyze phase of the IEE DMAIC roadmap, it is crucial to use the right tool at the right time. Provided in the analyze phase of this roadmap guide are drill downs for achieving this right tool at the right time objective at both the project and enterprise levels. There are two primary analyze phase components in an IEE metric process improvement roadmap. These components can assess brainstorming and other theories for X process inputs that could affect a process output response. Understanding X's that affect a Y response can provide insight into what could be beneficial to do differently in a process that a Y response is enhanced. Component 1. Visualization provides a picture of how a process's X's could affect a Y response. Component 2. Hypothesis test providing a statistical assessment of how process X's could affect a Y response. Below is an assessment of whether a call during lunch and X has a longer hold time duration than a non-lunch phone time call. Graphically and statistically, the duration of a call center hold time appears significantly longer when a call occurred during lunch. Hence, the process improvement team should consider what can be done differently to improve call center coverage during lunch. The IEE DMAIC Roadmap's Improve phase includes many tools. For example, design of experiments, or DOE, can be helpful to determine what to change in a process. One organization we work with had been doing lean for 7 years in manufacturing. Our analysis of a die breakage problem indicated that die breakage for a particular part was costing more than revenue received for selling that part. The organization had conducted many lean Kaizen events over the years, but never uncovered and resolved this major financial problem. A simple DOE analysis showed what to do differently to eliminate die breakage for not only this part, but for all facility manufactured parts. The application of lean techniques can be precious to improve a process. For example, a value stream map for workflow to respond to callers' input problems in an organization's call center may indicate that technicians are spending much time searching in a database for locating a predetermined solution to a call center problem. For this situation, a 5S type approach may be most beneficial for reducing clutter and improving the layout of database to minimize customer call-in response times. In an IEE Kaizen Blitz approach to improve a KPI or performance metric, the IEE DMAIC Improve phase suggests many techniques to benefit a specific project's metric improvement effort. However, most methods in this phase do not apply to a particular project. In an IEE Kaizen Blitz approach to improve a KPI or performance metric, projects must show before claiming a project's success the staging of its 30,000 foot level chart to enhance performance level that is consistent with the EIP desires for the project. It is essential in an IEE Kaizen Blitz approach to improve a KPI or process performance measurement response to document the newly created project's process so that others can easily find and follow the enhanced process methods. Process documentation can be entered into an organization's IEE value chain to accomplish this need. It is also imperative to have control measures that can be regularly monitored with little effort to ensure that the new process is continually followed. A project's 30,000 foot level metric can be a means of tracking the process output to ensure that process improvement gains are maintained. 30,000 foot level charts can be automatically updated daily within an organization's IEE value chain using Enterprise Performance Reporting System or EPRS software. In addition to the previously described need in the IEE DMAIC roadmap, step number 8 within the IEE 9-step system also describes showing and quantifying the benefits of process improvement efforts. In our illustrative application project, process changes were made, including call center coverage during lunch. The 30,000-foot level chart below indicates a reduction in hold time after the changes were made. Additional process improvements are needed if this new prediction statement is still unsatisfactory. Quantifying the benefits from this project. The call center hold time baseline was an estimated median time of 78 seconds with 80% of durations ranging between 25 and 243 seconds. After process improvement, the call center hold time was reduced to an estimated median time of 20 seconds with 80% of durations ranging between 11 and 37 seconds. A very significant improvement to call center hold time because of this project. IEE Enterprise Performance Reporting System or EPS software with its automatic metric updates behind an organization's firewall can provide a means to maintain the gain from process improvement efforts. The described Kaizen Blitz approach to improve KPIs and process performance measurement responses can be repeated over and over again, not unlike Deming's plan, do, check, act cycle for continually improving the business as a whole.